Have you ever wondered what games you should keep or you should lose? Find out here at Purge Reviews.
Five Nights at Freddy's Survive Till 6 a.m. was a huge surprise for us. I got this game because I was looking for some cheaper, lighter Halloween games to play with the kids around the holidays, and my kids really liked the Five Nights at Freddy's video game. I thought, you know what? I'll get my $10 worth. And boy, did I ever. This is a really, really fun game. When I turned it over, I saw some Funko games. Prospero Hall designed it. I was like, we might be in for quite a ride here. And were we ever? This really brings the video game into the board game realm. I really feel like I'm playing the game. And the mechanism of those animatronics inching in, but I'm making those decisions. How much do I want to risk power to keep them there? That's exactly like the video game. And it works brilliantly. This is a very simple game, very entry-level-esque, but that does not take away from the fun in this game. This is a game that plays 1 and 2 only, which is a little bit, that's probably the biggest negative to the game. It's a solo game or 2 players, but maybe you can get 2 copies of it and play 3 or 4 if you wanted. I think it would work just as well. I don't see why not. But there might be a couple things you have to tweak or house roll on it, but I think that's really fun. And this is one that, like, that dread of those animatronics, and sometimes the cards just don't come up for you, and there's only so many cards in a deck, so it should balance out over the life of the game if you can survive that long. You're going to have to, if the cards come up bad for you, you're going to have to make better decisions. I don't want to oversell it here. There's a little bit of luck in the game, you know, quite a bit of luck in the game. If you don't like Five Nights at Freddy's, I still think it's fun. I think that Halloween theme of these creatures coming up, this could be rethemed with, like, I don't know. It'd be kind of tough, but you could do something with a different theme, I think. But this theme really fits the mechanisms, how you have the multiple animatronics in there. And it's really going to feel like that they're coming for you. They're inching ever closer. What am I going to do? I'm running out of power here. And this is a really fun game. Blew my mind how good it was. You know, for the price point, if you like the theme at all, go for this one. Had a great time with it. Absolute keeper for us. Here's Five Nights at Freddy's Survive Till 6 a.m. game. Very striking cover if you ask me. Inside you have an instruction manual, which we'll look at in a few minutes. Here you're going to have a board. It's going to be a very small board. It just kind of sits out like this, but it's double-sided. This is for 1 player, and this is for 2 player. And really the only difference is that this one only has a set of cards on that side. You're going to get 2 dice, which are going to have the pixelated numbers on them. You can see there'll be 5s and 10s, and then there's a side that has nothing. You're going to get a countdown of the times of the day. These are just bland little cards, and they're fine. You're going to get 2 of these that come pre-assembled, and these will keep track of how many power you have left. And then each player will get a set of cards also. And these will have different actions on them, etc. that you'll be doing through the game. Not a lot of artwork in it per se, but there are the cards with the animatronics. So each side gets Freddy, Chica, Bonnie, and Foxy, and the purple set have the toy versions of it, which I think is from a later release of the game. The cards are okay quality. You know, you're not buying this game. It's not a very expensive game. The components are okay, but they're very functional. Here is a rule book for the game. You can see it has an introduction. That's going to fold out like a map here. You're going to see the components. This is the solo rules here. This is all that's required, but everything else plays exactly like the multiplayer game, etc. You're going to see if you're able to win. So that's what that's going to look like there. The rule book itself, a lot of pictures you can see. Very easy to learn. There's a link if you want to learn how to play from Not This. But it walks you through exactly what you need to do with pictures, full color. Then you have an example of a turnover here. I found it to be brilliant. I was able to read it all within 5 minutes. We were up and playing without any questions whatsoever. So here's what the game is going to look set up. You're going to have your power settings over here to 100, the 2 dice here, your time cards here, and then here you'll say 12 cards in here, 11 plus a monster, 11 plus a monster, and then 10 plus 2 monsters. So each deck has 12, but there's a monster in this one, and 2 in this one, and then the purple player will be likewise. On your turn, it's very easy. You turn over the top card, and it's now 12 a.m. Then everybody's going to turn over the top card on their deck here. If it has a bad guy that comes out, then you will turn over an additional card. until you have the last card without a bad guy on it. And you'll do the same on this side over here. And this will be done simultaneously, so nobody has to do. Then whoever has the highest power will go first. If it's a tie, at the start, that player will go first. But a lot of this you can do simultaneously. So what you're going to do is you're going to decide if you want to try to block one of these. Otherwise, they're all going to activate. So let's say I just want to roll 1. I could do 0, 1, or 2. And I want to try to block Foxy. So I'm going to roll this dice. And it came up with a 5, which means I would take 5 off of this. My power would go down a little bit. And I would take the bad guy, the animatronic, and I'd put him back in the deck he came from. And I would shuffle it up. Then I would activate the rest of the cards. So this card does nothing. This card has +5 if I roll the dice. If I wouldn't have rolled the dice for the cards, then this would not have activated, but it says +5. So I'm going to use another 5 on the power because I did roll the dice. So I'm down to 90. If this ever reaches 0, then I lose the game. So this card actually has a down arrow, which means I take the top card, and I have to do whatever it is. This one would go here because it's nothing. So this card would go into my discard. And then this card has an arrow moving to the left, just 1 space. So I take the top card and move it down here. So potentially what I've done is, I've moved a worthless card, but it could have been a bad guy for all that we know. I would do the same thing over here. So let's say I didn't want to roll any dice on this side. That's fine. So I won't lose any power right off the bat. We have a blank spot, which does nothing. This one right here is a down arrow, which means I take the top card and do whatever it says. And it says take the top card and move it down 1 spot. So these will be discarded. Now, since I have the animatronic here, he will move up 1 space and be shuffled into this deck. Very easy. If you ever get down here where you're putting an animatronic in the office, you automatically lose the game also. So that's kind of how that's going to work. So the animatronic that was here has now been moved here. So now this one probably has 2 in it, and this one has none. So we'll go ahead and do this one too, which means I move 1 down, which is great. Then this one says I move 1 down also from the top. So now things are starting to get mixed up. I don't know exactly where everything is. And that's how you play. You can, in the next round, you do this again, and then you pull a card out just like you did, and you repeat and repeat. The game ends when the last turn has been taken. Then whoever has the most power will win the game. Or if an animatronic gets to here, that player will lose. Or if somebody gets down to 0 power, the player will lose. And that's how you play Five Nights at Freddy Survive Till 6 a.m. Who should buy this game? If you like Five Nights at Freddy's or have a kid that likes it, this is an insta-buy, guys. And I'm pretty sure if you have little ones around the house, they're going to love this. But this is a game you can actually play solo and have a great time with and enjoy just as well. You can play with a spouse or another buddy, and it's a really light filler that I think packs a lot of punch into this game. And I got to admit, I enjoyed it quite a bit. It blew my mind how much I ended up liking this game. It has its flaws. I'm sure people can pick it apart. But as for the FUN factor, I actually liked it quite a bit. And I really have only touched the video game a little bit. You know, and my kids are like, hey, Dad, play this for a second. And that's about the extent of it. I really like this one. It actually made me want to go play the video game a little bit and try it out. Maybe I'd like it a little bit better. Interesting, huh? So this one's an absolute keeper for us. Halloween, it just really, really fit our need.